Welcome to the Game Deflators Podcast, episode 19. I am joined by Ricky, the Hormone Monster.
You're the man, John. No, just kidding. Here on the Game Deflators Podcast, we like to talk about games that we've recently purchased, games that we're currently playing, and as always, the ever-loved Inflation-Deflation Challenge, where we grab a game off of John's shelf and we decide, hey, is this game worth what it's selling for right now, or are you paying too much?
Now, the key thing with this week is I actually played the game, whereas you pretty much just kind of played for 2 minutes. You're like, nah, it's too hard. And you hand it over.
I played a couple times, and the second time I did better than your first time, and then you didn't die again, so you just kept playing.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't die. Like, the second time, I had to get used to playing the game and getting back those controls from when I was 10 years old, and I finally got back into that mode, and I was like, all right, I got this. Where I was like,
well, I never had a Genesis. Like, growing up, I started off with a Super Nintendo.
Spoiler alert, man. Spoiler alert. Nobody knows what we played yet unless they heard last week's episode. So you should probably hear last week's episode to prep for this week's episode before you hear it. So stop now. Go back to episode 18. Yeah, that's fair, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, cool. But yes, Sega Genesis. So that's your hint. Unless you want to like scroll forward, I don't know, like 40 minutes from now, we'll probably be at the point where we talk about inflation, deflation. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Or if you're really, up on your content, you'll check the social media and you'll probably already know.
Yeah, go on Instagram because I posted on there. All right. So, as always, recent pickups. I this week picked up, of course, like my 6th or 7th N64 with 3 controllers and a the power pack, the adapter. God, man, I'm tired today.
The Rumble Pack?
No, not the Rumble Pack. The
stupid additional RAM?
Yeah, the additional RAM, the little red pack.
Thank you, Donkey Kong 64.
RAM pack, there you go. Yeah, DK64. The pod racing on episode 1, I think.
Wait, did that come with it?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think it came with it.
Because I thought I got mine with DK64 because I had Pod Racer before DK64.
Well, I know Pod Racer utilized it at least. So Pod Racer, apparently, I mean, somebody can quote me and say I'm wrong.
I reap the benefits of it then.
Yeah, so I think Pod Racer actually utilized a RAM pack, and Donkey Kong, obviously, a Majora's Mask required. I think, was it Gemini? I don't remember.
Jet Force Gemini?
Maybe Jet Force Gemini? I don't recall.
I only ever rented that.
There was only like a handful of games that like literally used it or needed it to be able to work.
You're a Donkey Kong person.
I love Donkey Kong.
Okay, did you like Donkey Kong 64?
No.
Okay, see, I only ever played Donkey Kong Country 1, and that was the game that I always played with my dad on the Super Nintendo growing up. And DK64, like, I played it a bunch as a kid, and I just never felt like I made any progress because there was so much to do, and it was like, I need how many more bananas to feed this fat pig?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of side-scroller Donkey Kong games, so yeah. Country 1,
you guys
2,
should
and 3.
See, once we get, some footage of where we're actually at, he's got DK merch everywhere.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love Donkey Kong. It's one of my favorite series.
Why isn't he your main?
Why isn't he my main in Smash?
Yeah.
Because Jigglypuff and Pac-Man, dude. Like, come on. Come on, really?
Yeah.
There's no question around that.
I guess.
I can play Donkey Kong, but not, like, super well.
That's okay. I'm super into... Well, let's keep going. We'll get to that. Currently playing.
All right. So, so I got the N64. Obviously, it's like my 7th one. I'll take that, and I'll trade it towards something. I don't know. I got it at a good price, so maybe find an RPG that I really want to get, or sell it or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I have like 7 of them lying around, and one more is not needed.
Yeah. And anything else or
no? I mean, it was a slow week. I don't know. I'm trying to look over my pile of games over there. What's on the top of the pile where your phone just was? Punch Out. No, I got that the week before. No. Did you just throw my NES games around now?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much how it looks on the floor.
It got punched out.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It was challenging me.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's all I got this week. Nothing, dude. It was dry.
I mean, that's still something. This week, I got something that we talked about a long time ago and then kind of left off on. But I finally stepped up and I got Nintendo Switch's online service. I haven't really checked out any of the NES games, but I did see an article earlier this week that somebody data mined some kind of assets or names or something for Super NES games, and they're thinking that they're actually going to launch some Super NES games into the service that you get when you get the online service, those free titles that they have available.
I mean, honestly, if they didn't, that would be a loss on their part. I mean, that's what people are clamoring for, right?
Well, yeah, and I've heard that everybody's hungry for, to buy the same games that they bought on the Wii store and then on the Wii U store and then on the DS store. But it's like, it's definitely something that people want to have, but to get it as like kind of just a free, like, here, this is an addition to that, is nice. And I know before we kind of struggled, and I was in the camp of, well, they're just NES games. Like, if you really want to play them, pay for them with the $20 a year, and don't whine about having to be in service. What was it, like once a week or once every 3 days or something? Like, if you're not in the online area, like, how are you clamoring to play those specific games?
But here's a good point, though, and I made this point a while back when we first had that discussion. I've got plenty of game systems, like a good amount. I mean, you're standing or sitting in front of a wall that is just filled with games of all types. So for me, I played Let's Go Pikachu for a while. I stopped at, I think it was Seafoam Islands. I just kind of got burnt out on it. I'll come back to it at some point. But I stopped playing my Switch. I have not touched my Switch in as far as gaming hours concerned, because I've been playing Final Fantasy 15.
And how many alternate means do you have to play Metroid?
You could play it on the... Oh, you talking about like on the NES version?
Well, no. How many... If you didn't touch your Switch, even though you're in your home and it's connected to your Wi-Fi, and if you paid for the online service and you just push the power button, it would connect to the Wi-Fi. How many other ways in your house do you have to play Metroid?
Well, technically, several. But as far as
so you're not hurting for that.
But as far as turning, but some other people might be. But as far as turning on my Switch is concerned, I literally have not turned on my Switch in like 3 weeks since I started playing Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, because you're playing Final Fantasy 15,
yes.
But I play my Switch every day.
And the Switch is out of sight, out of mind in a sense. Like
it's right in front of your TV that you play Final Fantasy 15 on. You can't look at the TV without seeing the Switch. It's not out of sight, out of mind.
But that beautiful PS4 controller and the Final Fantasy 15 opening music and using Noctis to destroy creatures.
This is my recent pickups here, John.
You know what?
So anyways,
I'm going to interrupt it.
I discovered what I think is the cornerstone that I have not thought about, and I've aligned all the pieces of the puzzle together. And I might be late to the party because it seems somewhat obvious.
He's a Nintendo fanboy.
Let me see that.
All right, fine.
So, if you go on and you do like I've been doing and you treat the Switch as just a digital arcade, the best of Steam and everything, every $60 game that you buy, you'll get 300 coins. Every $20 game, 100 coins. And then it scales down from there, 15, 75, and so on and so forth.
So what you're saying is that you've been hanging around me too much and you're becoming a cheapskate.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that by buying games digitally, you get enough money rather quickly to afford the $20 a year for the online service. So by buying games digitally through the Switch, you not only get the online functionality, which not even all online games require. Warframe does not require Switch Online to play, but if you do, so that you can play like the first-party Nintendo games online, well, in order to get access to that online service, by buying it digitally, you make it easier and quicker on yourself, and beyond that, you can buy cheaper games, which still give you money towards that. I mean, I bought 3 months of online, and I paid nothing because I had all this digital currency lying around. And it's fantastic because you get access to even more games with it. And especially if they're going to add these Super Nintendo titles on there, I would say go ahead and save yourself the hassle of picking up all these carts. Like, especially today, like, if they don't do the things like we talked about last week, they don't come with manuals. The complete in-box price of some of these titles is probably never going to go up because they're selling millions and millions of copies. do yourself a favor, get the digital and use those rewards to get your online for free, get access to all these other games, and then buy some of these cheap indie titles. I mean, how many games have I talked about that I've gotten for $1 to $3? You could pick those up and another game. It just seems like the best way to do it if you're not looking to be a collector. But we appeal to collectors, which is why John is here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we appeal to gamers in general. The 22 subscribers, mind you, we have increased, I think, since we last talked about that. But I think you're still hanging around me too much. I mean, what you've done is beat the system, is what it sounds like. And
I think they made the system this way.
Potentially.
There's lots of online MMOs that have rather than a pay to play, they have a play to pay, where you can put in enough hours to get in-game currency to pay for your monthly subscription fee. Because what they want is a dedicated base of players playing the game, and hopefully those players invest into some sort of in-game currency purchases, or possibly some sort of in-game cosmetics like Grinding Gear does with Path of Exile.
Well, does that, like those games, the play to pay, do they have advertisers and such generally when you've played those?
I've never played them, but I know that the model to earn in-game currency and use that to pay for your monthly subscription model is because those companies, they're looking to engage a core audience, and that core audience, they want to stay around. And anybody on the fringes that is undecided, if they're not willing to put in the hours that it takes, because you want people playing your game. So as long as people are playing the game and you're making enough money to keep the lights on, it works as a model so that your game doesn't die because some new hotness comes out and they're just put their $20 there instead of all the hundreds of hours they're investing to get free in-game time.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I will get the Nintendo Switch service at some point in the near future.
Maybe wait a little while and let's see where it grows, and then we can do like neither of us really thought it was worth getting into in the beginning. Now that Smash is out and I'm thoroughly invested in Smash and I'm playing people and I'm calling out Brother Black, I did end up faring a decent challenge against him, so I feel pretty good about that.
Wait, did he beat you?
He beat me sometimes. I beat him sometimes. There was definitely some noticeable lag. He was saying that it was the worst lag that he's experienced so far.
Well, he just needs better internet service.
Well, no, I think it was on my end. I think my internet side might have been a little bit slow, so I'm going to see what I can do to fix that. But
what's his YouTube channel, by the way?
Vintage Vaudeville.
Yeah, so go ahead and look him up. He's got a pretty awesome song that we're hoping to put into our podcast outro.
Yeah,
soon.
go to YouTube, search for Vintage Vaudeville Ryu. It's a good one.
Yeah. So as far as Smash is concerned, I finally beat you once. So that was a miracle.
The controls take some adjusting.
Dude,
it's not the same Smash.
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's that I'm so used to playing on a GameCube controller, but now you throw me a Switch controller. It's just wonky. The overall, I don't know. It's just odd. I'm not used to it at all. So it took a little getting used to, but I did beat your main Game & Watch with Pac-Man. So
yeah.
that was fun. Yeah. What was your other pickup? So that was it, right? Just you had.
Yeah, it was just that for my new pickup, and I did pick up these new thoughts on how I think the online model works well.
Well, that's just cheating. You can't pick up new thoughts. I can pick up new thoughts.
Hey,
too.
I picked up new characters in Smash. I'm up to, what's the total?
66 of 74 is what you told me.
Yep, 66 of 74. That's not including my 2 Mii fighters that I've been messing around with. And I haven't bought the DLC bundle yet, but I am very interested. I would like to see this Joker character, because I'm a Persona onlooker, but I've never actually played one. I think that they look great, but the time investment in those games startles and frightens me. Like, I thought a few months ago about getting Disgaea for Switch, and remembering the time commitment on that, scared me away from it. So it's like those big, long JRPGs that have so much depth to them. Although I did just watch a really good video the other day where they were talking about how the UI in Persona 5 like should win awards.
I have yet to play it. Honestly, I haven't played a Persona game in a very long time. But let's go into our currently playing, and then you can talk about what you're currently playing, which we've kind of already covered.
Yeah, we've already really been covering it. I guess the other update I can give to that is that I love Corrin. I think Corrin's awesome, and I play female orange Corrin, and I am very not a Fire Emblem person. I love all the Fire Emblem characters in Smash. I've only played one for the GBA, and that's the only actual title that I've played, but I did play a lot of Fire Emblem on mobile.
I've actually got it on my floor, Fire Emblem on the GBA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just... That's really how sad this room is. There's just like random Fire Emblem games on the floor and a Sega Nomad. I mean, this is absolute madness in here.
I think I'm definitely going to try to get into the new Fire Emblem that's going to come out for Switch. Try to reintroduce myself to the series. I thought about getting into those DS ones for a while, but they just didn't really seem like... I don't know. I love my 3DS, but I have like the launch 3DS. And as often as I play it, I don't really ever think about getting a new one. I really thought about getting a 2DS and getting like a game cart that you can put those SD cards into so that I can do things that aren't illegal with it.
Sure.
But I would really rather not do that, because if I do that, it's going to put me that much further away of my dream of being reunited with Game Boy Micro, which I hope to do once I get started on the Zone of Enders, new games resolution this year.
Yeah, we gotta find you a Game Boy Micro, dude. Every time I look around, somebody's asking like double the price for some stupid reason.
Yeah,
we'll get you one at some point at a good price. Yeah, so as far as what you were talking about, in-depth RPGs, Final Fantasy 15, I've pumped 60 hours in that game now. I think I'm only like level 64 right now. I'm in chapter 14 now, and it's taken like a crazy turn, man. I've just absolutely loved every moment of that game so far. Super excited that I actually decided to just go ahead and start playing through it. At first, I was kind of off on the controls and the battle scheme and everything else. I really wasn't a huge fan of it. Took some getting used to, but now I'm just absolutely in love with the battle format. The magic is actually pretty cool.
I love the magic in the system.
Yeah, I told you a while back, I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but it reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII, drawing the different spells and such. And actually, James, he moved into our state now. He actually was watching me play it last night. He had never touched it. He's like, hey, I heard the magic's like Final Fantasy VIII. And I came over to a couple pillars of fire and like sucked up some magic. He's like, yep, Final Fantasy VIII. But then he saw me mixing the magic, and it reminded him of, I think it's Final Fantasy X.
With Riku.
Yeah, where you can mix that's right, with Riku, where you can mix the items and do crazy abilities and such. So he saw that, and he's like, oh, snap, that's actually pretty cool. And then I showed him pretty much equivalent to Ultima with my ring and Holy and all these other items. He's like, okay, this is actually a pretty cool system for magic. I still wish there was a little more depth to it. Like I have yet to see how I can make Firaga and Thundaga and all that. It kind of just stops at Fira and then goes to like Unicast or Quintcast and Quadcast.
Oh yeah, those. That's what I always did. I always like wore all the casting gear, and I would just like run into some mind flayers and just...
Yeah, I mean, overall, dude, it's a fantastic game. So if anybody hasn't played it, pick up the Royal Edition.
How far are you now?
Chapter 14, I believe, out of 15.
Okay, wow, you're almost there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I got to get back on Red Dead.
So the crazy thing about that game, dude, is I probably could have beat the game in about 30 hours if I would have just kind of...
Well, because you've been doing all the sidecasts.
Yeah, man. I think I just got... Sidecast. I just got to... I think they gave me a medal for completing... It was like 80 side quests already, and I think there's 200 in the game. So
wow.
I'm on the point, right? Or I'm like seriously on the fence of, do I keep playing this game and keep doing side quests and enjoy myself with those and potentially get burnt out, or do I just beat the game and then do like the DLC that came with the Royal Edition? I'm so on the fence about what I want to do here. And then there's also our
Let's get a poll going.
yeah, right. There's also our new games resolution too, and I got to play Suikoden 2.
Well, yeah, but it's not even the end of January.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. Like I want to get to that game. I've been wanting to play that for so long, and now that I have like a reason, well, I should have had a reason to play it a long time ago, but now that I have like a legit, hey, this is my resolution to beat this game for the year, I feel like I want to play it right away.
Oh,
So-
you know, that almost makes me want to tell you just to do all those side quests so that maybe I can put enough time in, beat Red Dead, and play Suikoden 2 alongside you and do my new games resolution, and then I will be the most resolved.
Can't do that. No, see, here's what I know will occur.
I'll play it for a week and be done with it.
Exactly. The last time you said, let's do a challenge. Let's two of us go ahead and buy a game together. And we'll play
That
it side
was
by
a challenge.
side.
I made it all the way to Mount Moon. It was a challenge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a challenge that you didn't finish before that. Jeez, man.
Hey, you didn't finish it either.
Well, yeah, you suckered me in and spending 60-something bucks on the game. Actually, no, I spent more than that because I got the Pokeball, too.
Yeah, and I just got the regular one.
Yeah. Yeah, I see how it is. At least I got the Pokeball.
You know, I do have one other thing to talk about real quick, just because I mentioned it last week. I played The Way, which I think I purchased last week for $1.06.
Did you find the Queen?
No.
Well, then you didn't find the way.
No, but I took my dead wife to another planet. It was actually really fun. I played through the first part of it, and, you know, the art style was really nice. It's one of these 2D puzzle kind of platformer games, and I totally see the direction that it's going in, and I am interested in it, but it's not exactly my type of game, but it is something that definitely just playing the opening was worth the $1.06 that I paid. And now that I have the whole rest of the game to play whenever I want, and I don't have to go through the tutorial again, or I could start over and it would take me, you know, maybe a half hour to get through instead of the time that I did take to kind of get to know it a little bit more. Definitely worth picking up. And I think I might go back and check out some of those other cheap games that I picked up too, just to kind of, because I know they were like 8 out of 10 on Steam or 7 out of 10 on Steam. But I mean, definitely titles that are worth it for $1. I don't think they're up there anymore, but I think I'm going to make a trend of picking up anything that seems too good to pass up on and giving it an hour and talking about it. I think it's definitely worth telling people what, you know, is deflated. Like, we do our inflation deflation coming up next. And
no, it isn't. We got news coming up next.
Coming up later.
Coming up later. Yeah. Okay.
Tonight at 6.
More like 10:20.
Yeah, tonight at 10:20. But I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye on the forecast of great deals in the Switch market and let you people know. And I did pick up Cave Blazers too. I forgot about that. And that is fine. It's fun. I'm sure that it gets better the more you get used to it. It's a little fast for my taste.
That's because Ryan's a little slow. Just that's what it is.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. So what we got on the news?
Okay, so our news section brought to you by Dogfish Head Flesh and Blood IPA. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Could be a sponsor.
Could be a sponsor. So our news from this week is GameStop. Looks like they may be going through a buyout. Now, for some individuals who think, oh no, GameStop is being bought out, this is actually kind of positive because what it's doing is kind of breathing fresh air into GameStop and allowing them to have, backers that really care about the company, hopefully, versus their revenue losses and all the issues that they're having currently with their situations. There's several other things that can occur to be for the better. But to give you some rough numbers, their quarterly business review that they had back in, I guess it was November they did it, $418 million loss during that quarter. So obviously not good. And the funny thing is that they showed growth last year. So $418 million loss, and they actually lost more the year before. So that's kind of scary. And the company is $817 million in debt. So that can be through a wide variety of things, such as acquisitions, trying to go ahead and pick up exclusivities on games, just tons of other things that are involved in that to try and bring in that business. You pretty much spend money and you throw yourself in debt. And then there's also backers that invest in the company, so they owe a debt to those backers initially. So there's a few companies that are looking to buy them out right now. So that's kind of good. Really, what I guess I'd want to talk about in this is, can you see a world without GameStop, and how do you think that would look overall? Now, I'm not saying GameStop's going anywhere based on this information. If anything, GameStop's sticking around longer, and there is the potential of them going private again, because right now they're a publicly traded company. So if they were to go into go private again, then there's no crazy issues of having to make investors happy and everything else because they're a private entity.
See, I think that we have a really good example for this as a stand-in. GameStop will be Barnes & Noble because there is no huge market for going out and buying books. That's why, other than like mom and pop or, small to medium booksellers, or places that just sell books as a part of the product line that they already sell, I think that people want a place where they can go. They want a place where they can buy gift cards so that somebody they know can go and get something that they want, and also they've expanded the way that Barnes & Noble did. Not only do they sell books primarily or games primarily, but Barnes & Noble has a music section. They have a movie section. They have a toy section.
Which is all overpriced.
Yeah, but GameStop's the same way. Like, if you walk into a GameStop, there's games. There's used games. They have all kinds of models and action figures and bags and socks and all kinds of gaming memorabilia.
Well, yeah, they have their Think Geek segment.
Yeah, their whole line.
Yeah,
but they also have cases, extra controllers, third-party controllers. Like, there's so much Pokemon cards. There's so much else being channeled into GameStop that's like, if you're here and you're buying this stuff, you might like this stuff, and all that stuff needs a money in your wallet kid who just had a birthday walking in, because if the only options are to buy that stuff online or to go to a big box store that's going to have a much more limited selection, because Target, Best Buy, Walmart, they don't have enough room or enough, spots on their pegboard walls or enough time to give every third party a good opportunity, or to showcase those things directly next to other items of the same kind. So it's a huge market for other things besides just the games themselves. Because if you want, you can go in, and we were just talking about this early, like every so often at work, if I get like a little extra money, I might go into GameStop just to buy a $20 Switch gift card for myself. Just so that it's like, hey, I've got 20 extra bucks now. I know that I'm going to want to buy something on Switch eventually. I'll just bank that now, and then down the road, when I need it, it's there. I've got 16 bucks sitting in my Switch wallet right now for how many $1 games?
Well, 16.
Yeah, so it's convenient for me to do that, but I go in and they're like, hey, what are you looking to buy? Like, I can probably just sell you a code for it. Like, you can go into a GameStop and walk away with just a paper receipt and a game. Like, the fact that you can do that is fantastic.
But I can also do the same thing from the comfort of my couch as well, digitally.
And you get those sweet coins.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
I don't think
coins.
you get that. I should do some research and find out if you get those sweet coins when you buy a digital coupon code for a game in a store.
Yeah, but regardless, you're not, I mean, as far as GameStop's bottom line is concerned, that's pennies if you buy a code from them, because a bulk of their money is coming from used games, the little kickback they get on the new games, and obviously their Think Geek lineup, which they had to do that because they were so limited in the market with just doing games. So, I mean, you kind of had to go ahead and push in the pop figures and the fake Lego sets, actually, and every other model and everything that they sell, dude. Like, there was no possible way for them to continue as a publicly traded company and not have different types of revenue streams coming through. So I would say that's really what's going on. If they're still losing money with that being the case, there's talk of them potentially, people are suggesting, hey, close down some of your stores. I've got like 3 GameStops within like a 3-mile radius of me. Why do I need 3 GameStops in that close of a proximity? On top of that, there's several like mom and pop used game stores in a general area, which not only have similar, if not better prices and just as wide of a selection on older used titles, collectibles, and everything else you can think of. So that, I don't know, man. As far as GameStop is concerned in the long run and a world without them involved, I can see that being more of the path and opening up the digital world on gaming and going less towards physical content. Are you still going to let me keep talking and search on your iPad here, man? You're killing me.
Okay, John,
what is
look
this?
at this list. There are 35 different Assassin's Creed Odyssey items when you search for GameStop Assassin's Creed Odyssey. All different season passes, versions.
Yeah, but this is all new, dude.
Accessories
so,
and stuff. No, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, beyond just the used games, they sell 35 different products.
Yeah, but it doesn't
for
help.
Just one game. Like,
But
their
how
marketplace is so wrapped up in all of these different pre-order bonuses and all these different things that you're not getting from anywhere else that they're using to bring people in. Like,
yeah, but how much of that really affects our bottom line? I mean, we'd have to really look into it and see, like, what does a retailer get out of the selling of a new game? I mean, as far as I've been told in the past, GameStop's bread and butter has always been their used games, because they're buying a game from you, a new game like an Odyssey. They'll buy it from you at like $30, $35, like a week after.
I get emails.
And then they flip it for $55.
Yeah, I get emails all the time from my GameStop membership that's like, hey, look at you've got 3 games worth $129, and then it shows me the same 3 games that it shows me every month, because for whatever reason they're willing to pay top dollar for a used copy of this or a used copy of that. And sometimes they're games that I don't even understand why they're wanting to buy them from me for so much.
Well, I mean, if it's a popular game like Odyssey, I don't know what they're offering now. They probably honestly aren't even offering you $35. You can actually look up the trade values on there later if you want. But yeah, like Odyssey, when it first came out, I would probably say the first week or so, what they're doing is anybody that, say, went to a big box retailer, picked up Odyssey, and they're like, you know what, I just don't like this. It's not my type of game. They can't return it to a Walmart, so they have to, in that case, take it to GameStop or another shop. And GameStop really at that point can say, all right, cool, $35. It's a high in-demand game. The next person that rolls in, you've heard the pitch,
but
man.
where else are you going to get it for a better price? If GameStop's selling it for that should be market value.
Amazon.
So people are selling used games on Amazon for cheaper than GameStop.
eBay. Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, I can find a game on GameStop that's...
I guess you go buy it there, and that's why they're losing money.
That really...
But, like, what if you go to...
options
what
now.
if you go to another brick and mortar?
As in, like Best
just
Buy or Target or something? I
No,
mean, with
just a
Target, you got,
small-
like, Cartwheel and such.
No, just like a small used game shop. Like, I don't know what your cities, towns, wherever you're at, listeners, I hope you have some small places still pushing through, like, buy local comic shops or, any other kind of local business that you could primarily get all this stuff digitally online, but
So
you still go there for the experience.
I can cave to you on this one because, yeah, if you go to a local mom and pop shop, the odds of them having a wide variety of new and used titles, like new games that have come out, it's not going to be
You
there.
hardly ever see new games.
No, I used to work for a store like that years ago, and when we had games coming through, and I know some of the people follow us on Instagram and all that own stores, they completely understand as well. When a new game comes out, you have people coming to your store saying, hey, do you have the new copy of X, right? A new copy of it. So in that case, if we had within the first few days, somebody came in with that game, we would match, if not beat GameStop on it, because we could easily come in and say, hey, we just got this copy of X, whatever game, say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, we just got this in. You can go ahead and buy it for 55 right now, or we'll give it to you for 52. We would obviously undercut what GameStop was selling it at. Plus, we'd be paying more just to get that person in there to not only pick that game up, but any other games they could.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to be able to go anywhere else as far as new titles that are used is concerned. You're not going to find, unless I think Best Buy, occasionally you can find used games, but I don't even know if they're still doing that.
See, I don't know. I used to love Best Buy. It was always my favorite store when I was a kid. I always wanted Best Buy gift cards for, birthday and stuff, because I loved going to Best Buy to get new games. And the last time I was happy going to Best Buy and getting a new game was when I got my copy of Paper Mario for N64. And then I just felt like after that, it went downhill, and it was like I would go in to look for something and they wouldn't have it, or they were sold out of it. Like I had to go to 2 Best Buys to get a copy of Smash, but I guarantee you I probably could have gone into any GameStop and found it.
Yeah, but you also use Best Buy Gamers Rewards, so you got a nice little discount on that. So.
Yeah, I had incentive to go there, but it's like beyond that, going to GameStop, I've got so many fond memories of it. I guess I'm not necessarily arguing that I think that GameStop doesn't maybe deserve some kind of accountability. Like they do gouge you, they do underpay you for your used titles, but I have so many fond memories, and I think that GameStop does so much more for gaming in general. And despite the fact that, the whole fiasco with the Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 that I ran into, despite that sucking, that's more due to like the online predation of pre-orders and not donating enough of those to actually, like, if you actually had, 10 of those promised to every brick and mortar GameStop, you'd stand a hell of a lot better chance. Like I remember 2 people behind me in line got cut off for the Wii. Whereas when I reserved my Xbox 360, I had a Christmas with extra controllers and games and 0 console to play them on because I didn't actually get my 360 until February. And the fact that you could go, and if you go early and you get in line, or like going to midnight launches was great. Nowadays they do, like I got Red Dead. You go in that afternoon before the launch day, you pay for it, and then you can go in right after they close. You don't have to even wait till midnight anymore. They close at 9. There's a big giant line outside, and depending on when you paid for it earlier that day and got your final receipt, you're in a group number, and you just boarding pass style walk in, hand the ticket, they hand you the game, no credit cards, no pulling out, anything. It's just a straight trade. And then I got home and I was playing before midnight, whereas anybody who bought the game digitally still had to wait. Like there's still so many advantages. I would hate to see it go away, and I hate that there's no more competition either. Like the GameStop model could be so much better if there was viable competition in the market to give it a run for its money. Like in a monopoly, they're just going to do whatever they want, and that's what they're doing. And I think the market needs more of this, not less of it. So I hope this buyout helps GameStop, and I hope it encourages the market to develop a competitor.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, dude, because when you really think about it, you only have right now big box retailers, Amazon, and the other market pretty much is
just
eBay.
Private sellers.
Yeah, private sellers on eBay and such, or Amazon. So yeah, I fully agree with you, man. I think if GameStop had some more competition, obviously this should be lighting a fire under their butt to do something about what's going on. It would, I think it'd be a better situation all for gamers and the industry in general.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do a terrible transition over to our inflation deflation. So yeah, just To go back to GameStop, though, just to close that out nicely, yes, we want GameStop to remain, but we want other GameStop-like entities to exist. That would be awesome. Now, inflation, deflation. So, in the need of time, don't shake your head at me, sir, and blow your head. Come on now. This is a podcast. We're supposed to be able to do whatever we want.
This is a terrible transition. I'm
said
going
it
to
was a
do the
terrible
audience a favor
transition.
and handle the transitions from now on.
Handle the transition. Go ahead and handle it.
Okay, so the way I would have done it is, we need more competition for GameStop because GameStop can't provide everything. And some things that GameStop can't provide is a used complete copy of Alien 3 for the Sega Genesis.
Guess what? They totally can, because if you go on their website and search up Alien 3 right now, you'll find a copy. It might not be complete, but they totally have it on their website. Go on and look at your magical iPad. All right, while he's looking up to see how he's wrong, we played Alien 3 this week on the Sega Genesis. Game that I played as a kid. It was given to me by my cousin. I still have my original copy. I also still have my original Sega Genesis, although we played it on a recent pickup.
They're gouging us too. It's still more on there.
What does it say on GameStop?
GameStop is $9.99 pre-owned.
Well, that matches price charting, and you get
No, it doesn't. It does. I mean, if it's just a picture of the case or the game, does it mean it doesn't come with the box?
I think they have on their listings on there for used games. It says that it may or may not come with the box, but as far as I know, they were tossing boxes. They're just selling carts.
Okay, so in that case, it's $9.99, probably plus whatever shipping versus $8.95 showing on price charting.
Actually, no, you can do an in-store order, I believe.
So, snap.
Yeah, so if it's in their store somewhere, or if it's online, I think you can actually purchase it in store and have it shipped directly to the store or your house if you do it in store. I don't remember offhand.
For free?
Yeah, I've done it
nice.
before. Like if there's a game that I want and it's online and it says that it's a game that you could pick up locally, I believe, they will ship it to your home for free. I don't know the exact specifications. It's been a while since I did it, but the point is you can buy it on GameStop. So my terrible transition, still terrible. Yours, just as bad. So let's get into Alien 3. Sega Genesis. I think it's a superior version. Obviously, I don't own a copy on any of the other consoles it's available on, so that's why it's superior. But in our time playing and your time crying, what did you think of the game?
I thought it looked amazing. I was really impressed with the graphics, especially the animations, the motion of the fan, the movement of the character going up and down the ladders. I thought it was all really good. The scrolling effects in the background were nice. I could easily tell what everything was, except for sometimes the aliens when they were trying to blend in, which kind of makes sense. But I also kind of was having a hard time because I didn't grow up with Genesis, like I was saying at the beginning. But I thought it was great. I thought it was super interesting. The weapon variety, I had a hard time with the controls, but that's just a me thing. You obviously got it. I was very impressed, having zero experience or exposure to this, and this is the first time I've ever even seen it. I was very impressed.
Yeah, this is a game that, as I said earlier, I used to play when I was like 10. So my cousin, when I was older, he was going off to college, and he was like, you know what? You can go ahead and take my Dreamcast and my Sega Genesis and this giant pile of games. And as a kid, I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have a Sega Genesis. I got a Super Nintendo. So, yeah, I went ahead and a PlayStation 1 at the time as well, I guess. But no, my brother and I would sit back and play Alien and Turtles Hyperstone Heist. So we'd play Hyperstone Heist and Alien 3 all the time. And yeah, we enjoyed it as kids, man. So I was excited to give you that experience for a game and see what your thoughts were on it. So for me, it took a little bit of getting, used to those controls again because it had been a while. But the only issue that I kept having personally, and I don't know if you were having this, was when you were in like certain sections crawling and you had to go from like
transition to the ladder.
Yeah. I was like, good God, man, there was at least times where I wasted 10 seconds on the clock. So anybody that hasn't played this, the general premise, at least in the stages we got through, are you have different humans or captives from the aliens that are all strapped out, and there's like it
They're
depends
all
on it.
stucky to the wall.
Yeah, they're kind of like locked in, and the aliens are around, like pretty much trying to kill you, and you're trying to kill them. But you have a time limit of like 3 minutes per level, and you have to try and find within this level all of the
It's a
the
big
humans.
maze-like level too. Like you're running through. You've got a tiny jump, but you do have an arsenal, man. You've got a machine gun, a flamethrower, a grenade launcher, and you just kind of circumnavigate this maze. You do have like an alien detector radar in the top right.
It doesn't work,
but
man.
It's like they just pop up so fast, and you have so little time to react. John was killing it because he kind of had an idea of where some of these aliens were, so you could shoot them off screen to save yourself getting the damage because they move so quick. Like, it's an interesting, I've heard this talked about in retrospective on AVP series for all different systems that Noah Caldwell Gervais did, and it's fantastic. Check that out. But in a lot of these, it's like Alien is so imposing in Alien Isolation, like it's unkillable, and it just feels like this pervasive enemy, like the way Alien does in the games or in the movies. But in most games, the alien is just like, oh, killed one, oh, killed one. And it's not like that in the first movie. Like, that's not the portrayal of Alien you think of. But in this one, like, they get the jump on you and they react way faster than you. And it is hard. Like, if you get caught out by one, you'll get hit maybe a couple times before you manage to waste it. But it's really, it's an okay balance with the gameplay style and the technology of the time. Like, I feel like there is much of a threat as I want it to be without being like the enemies we ran into in the sewer in Futurama, where it's just like, dude, this is level 1. Like, why can't I kill anything? Like, why is this so... I'm at an impasse against this immortal foe.
Yeah, and with Alien 3, I mean, once you got used to it, I mean, obviously the first go around, you and I were just kind of like, all right, we're just kind of getting our bearings, making sure we understand the controls and whatnot, just going through it. Once we got into like past that, it was super simple, dude, and it's nice because
It's got
like
8-way aiming.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, I absolutely love that game, and you know, as you said, the arsenal of weapons and such. The aliens are quick to react, but once you've played through a level, maybe died once, if at all, you generally get a pretty good feel where it's like, all right, I'm running down this hallway. I can most likely guarantee an alien's going to be coming out from either the ground or above. And it's just, you get used to it. And I really enjoyed playing that tonight. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I had an excellent time.
Yeah,
so just a little history. We've got Alien 3, developed by Probe Software, published by Acclaim Entertainment, Virgin Interactive.
Virgin Interactive and Probe Software. That's a good combination right there.
Right? Nothing like Probe and the Virgin.
Yeah.
Came out October 92 for Genesis. And it received really good scores. It's got high 90s to mid 70s, or high 70s. 78 looks like the lowest score here. I don't know what a 29 out of 40 is on EGM, but sounds good enough.
Who the heck is grading into EGM grades up to 40?
Yeah, 29 out of 40.
Well, I guess consider it like 4 stars, so it's 3 out of 4
and
stars.
then we've got, 4.5 stars, 3.5 stars, 4 stars. Like, it, I definitely think this is one of the better games. And you know what? For one of the first games that we've played in 2019, I think this is going to be something I'm going to keep in mind for our end of our year review when we come around and we talk about some of the best stuff we played this year. And I think that we're off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, Futurama was fun from the perspective of, it was Futurama.
Okay, so
cool.
as licensed tie-ins, I think that Futurama, with what we played, as frustrating as it was, I think I was more engaged with the Futurama aspect of that and less with the gameplay.
Versus
Whereas
Alien
this,
3.
I was much less engaged with it as an Alien product versus an effective game.
Seeing as you just mentioned licensed, game as far as like being based off of a show or a movie. I think we should probably do that for our game next week. And I've got one I'm eyeing right now. I'm moving my eyes. You can't see it now. So I am, as far as Alien 3 is concerned, I'm going to say it's deflated. I think that it's very much worth the price tag that's on there, if not worth more.
He's talking about Lego Batman 2 for the Wii.
Playing Lego Batman 2 on the Wii. Do I own all the Lego Batmans on the Wii console? 1, 2,
Are
and
there
3?
only 2 of them?
No, it looks like I have 3 there. Is that all Lego Batman?
No, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, that's not mine then.
He's talking Lego Lord of the Rings, folks.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that one. No, you're gonna hate me on this one. So yeah, dude, I'm over here. Ryan,
Does
my eyes
Ratchet
are
and
here.
Clank count as a movie tie-in game?
No,
if the
it came
movie
before.
came after the games?
No, it came
And are they
before.
still making that Sly Cooper movie they've been talking about for years?
They were gonna make a Sly Cooper movie?
Yeah, so many questions.
Huh.
But you know what? I think that we can wait for those until next week.
No, I think. Well, you haven't even said, is the game inflated or deflated this week on your end?
Oh, dude. Okay, so you're right. Sorry about that, folks.
I think it's deflated.
So, you know what? Even based off of GameStop's $9.99 for pre-owned, I'm going to say deflated. I think this is a hell of a pickup. I think that if you have a Genesis and you still play it,
well, Super Nintendo
good
and
on
NES
ya.
as well.
well,
So,
yeah, but we didn't play that one.
yeah, and Genesis is a cheaper title.
Yeah,
Anyways.
if you're going to, well, and that's the thing. Like, you can't do 8-way aiming with those consoles. Not as well, right?
Maybe, I don't know. On the NES, I have my little thing that I can pop on the front of the game. I forget what it's called. Or on top of the controller, it makes a little joystick.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Well, I'm gonna propose that we play Rocky and Bullwinkle on the Sega Genesis.
Yes, I love Rocky and Bullwinkle.
So it's over there next to the Switch titles. It's the first game, I believe. Is that Rocky and Bullwinkle? I hope I have Rocky and Bullwinkle. What is that? Does it say Bullwinkle?
Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends.
Oh, I see why it's first, because it says The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. So yeah, let's play that next week.
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
What I picked that up for, by the way, because that is the price point I paid for it.
$5.99
$5.99, and I probably get a 30% discount because
at
I got
Price Buster Games.
Yeah, check out them. That's where I used to hang out quite a lot. So yeah, I got that at a discounted rate most likely. So either way, Rocky and Bullwinkle, and you just put it on my shelf incorrectly. You just put it right after 2 titles that are supposed to go after it. Oh, don't you dare. Dude, you're going to unalphabetize my games? Stop. No, what are you doing? We're still recording. You have to stop. All right, so Rocky and Bullwinkle, that's our game next week. I'm also on Deflated as well. I think it's a hell of a pickup. We should play it again at some point in the future.
Yeah, get this one. It's definitely worth it. You don't get any, credit towards buying your Nintendo Switch online service, but hey, screw it, do it anyways.
Yeah, but you get at least the credit of having played a game that we played. All right, so in the God, man, seriously,
I'm switching them back.
Yeah, please. All right, yeah, that looks correct. You gonna move that Rocky and Bullwinkle back to Airbuster? All right.
I don't know why R is before A, but whatever.
It says The Adventures.
The Adventures.
AD, and then Airbuster. AIR.
TH.
You're killing me. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Episode 19 of Game Deflators. I'm John.
I'm Ryan.
And we are
the Game Deflators.
We got it again 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, here we come, episode 20.
All right.